I paid $360 for this game 3 months ago, and it's already worth over $600. This might be one of the most important obscure games on the original PlayStation, and it's made by the same company that eventually gave us Dark Souls. This is Shadow Tower, an extremely rare PlayStation 1 horror game that is quite possibly the hardest video game I've ever played in my entire life. I've put a couple hours into this game, and it is not for the faint of heart. It's an extremely brutal game that doesn't hold your hand at all. There's no in-game maps. There's extremely limited resources. The equipment degrades over time when you're trying to use it. The save points are super far apart. And the worst part is the controls. The controls on this game are the most horrendous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It doesn't support the later PlayStation controllers, so everything is the old clunky controllers of the original PlayStation. And my God, is it the hardest thing to master. You essentially have to learn how to play video games again. This game is interesting for 1,000 reasons, but one of the reasons it's really interesting is it was made by From Software, which is a huge company that now makes Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring. And this is basically an early blueprint for the Soulsborne design. The methodical combat, the dangerous enemies, the scarce resources, all that stuff is paving the way for later games that they develop. This doesn't even have traditional character leveling. Your stats increase or decrease based on what you actually do in the game. That's horrible. GameSpot criticized it for its dated visuals, controls, frame rate, and lack of direction. And I do have to agree with that. So contributing factors into how expensive it is are its limited print run, the obscure late PS1 release, the niche audience, and the From Software pedigree, along with the modern collector demand. They just didn't sell these. I mean, why would they, to be quite honest? This game is really clunky, and it's even old for its time in 1999, and the PlayStation 2 was very soon going to come out after. So there was really no good reason for this game to produce a lot of copies and be successful. Games like this are extremely interesting to me, especially in the horror category, because I am a huge horror fan. And when they get really expensive like this, it doesn't deter me like most video game collectors. It actually inspires me to grab them because they have so much interesting history behind them that's increased the value of them. It's not because I want to resell them later or anything. It's just they're really cool to have. It just makes it a little bit more fun to grab it and a little bit more of a story to share when people see your collection. So even though I've basically doubled my money in 3 months, this is most definitely staying in my collection. And to be honest with you, it makes me want to grab a second copy. I really want to continue to play it and try to beat the game, but I'm not kidding. It's the hardest game I've ever touched. It's really difficult. What do you guys think of this game? Have you ever played it? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get anybody who says they've actually completed this game.